can't get a feel. I've been saying this all along. You're watching games. You're like, okay, that team looks good. That team looks good. And all of a sudden, it's like the score doesn't kind of match what you were thinking going in. And I can't get a feel. All I know is that they need a response tonight. Like, regardless of how, we think it's going to lay out. There's no real lineup changes. Hayes, we're talking like
Lafferty's going in, that's it.
But it's you just need 10% more from everyone on that
I think
roster.
more, Jamie, and we talked about it yesterday. There's only so many more kind of throwaway efforts or throwaway periods. And I think you can take something I don't know if these guys watch the other games, but if you watch what Carolina brings to the ice, and they're just one example, it's almost the standard thing every night. They're going to work their tails off. They're going to pressure pucks. In the formula, it's out there, and it's executed almost to perfection every night. And some nights they might lose to a goaltender. They might lose to a Jack Hughes hat trick or something. But they're putting that out there every night. And Toronto has got to start doing that. It's not like they dominated the Tampa series. Sure, they got to give themselves a pat on the back for winning that series. But there's got to be an understanding. There's another level, and they're running out of time to get to it.
That's fair.
Because if they want to go the distance, they've got to put together stretches where they're like, if we put that 60 minutes out there, the other team can't compete. And they have not done a good enough job.
They did it once in that last series, and that was game 2, right?
Yeah.
And that was a blowout.
And that
it was
was
like you can't even really make a proper read on that. They've got to get more consistent. And the A game from everybody. It's not, they can't be asking questions. Where was that guy in the second period? Where was this guy? It's got to be, we were all out there. We gave it everything, and we won or we lost or we got to get better. There's only 8 teams left, man. The runway for throwaway periods and lackluster second periods, whatever, it can't happen.
Yeah.
Well, and here's another thing that I would tag to that is you got to start owning home ice. They're 1-3 at Scotiabank in the playoffs.
Which is the road team has been dominating right through the playoffs.
You got to get going at home.
You
have to.
Got to use that to really get excited. And the fans have been doing their part, but you've said this before. Give them something to cheer about. Then they get behind you. You can't allow a go early, and that takes the wind out of the balloon.
It's really the same thing we witnessed 10 days ago. And just because they came out rocking against Tampa and ran away with that game doesn't mean it's going to happen tonight. But it's the same formula. You've got to score first. Samsonov has been really good this year coming off a loss.
Yeah.
Really good. Veteran teams come out and impose their will tonight.
Agreed.
Like a veteran good team at home, they come out and they impose their will. I don't know what Jersey does in Carolina, game 2. I don't.
Right.
I think Edmonton responds and probably wins game 2. But Dallas, I think, has a way better effort and wins. And the same logic should apply to the Leafs. But the Leafs need to prove that they weren't satisfied with just getting through the first round. Like, we might get an answer on that tonight. Because the effort was fine, but that's not good enough in the playoffs in game 1.
Right.
Like, you got to be better than you were in game 1. You need to increase across the board. And if you don't see that, even if they win, like, you don't have to explain a win. But there might be some cracks in the armor, even with a win tonight, that could be a little bit concerning. Tonight should be an absolutely dominant effort and performance. Doesn't mean you're guaranteed, to run away with the win. But you got to be the better team tonight. You have to
maybe
be.
It was a wake-up call that their approach, and it might have been subconscious, and it's obviously not on purpose. It just seemed like the approach was, man, we didn't get Boston.
Yeah.
But they had to wake up and say, you know what, we got an angry Florida team here.
Yes.
That's what we've got.